Okay, so today I'm going to read the poem The Builders by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And I didn't know Longfellow very well until maybe about a year ago. I'd of course heard of him, but then I started to read his work. He was born in 1807 and he passed in 1882, so a little while back. So I only discovered his work really recently and fell in love with most of it, maybe all of it. I think it's fantastic, and it really spoke to me and how I think and feel a lot of times. This particular one, and I'd started to realize things along these lines recently, and then I read this poem and it sort of was like, it solidified a lot of things for me. So I'll comment a little more afterwards. But that feeling that probably all of us get, where we're like, I'm not living up to my potential. And it's sort of this ache. Well, I think that one should strive to do everything that they want to do. But that internal ache, I personally don't even contend with anymore. And I think it's false. That's just me. Doesn't have to be you or anyone. This I definitely do not assert as some truth for everybody, but I'll talk more about it when I'm done reading. So here is The Builders by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. All are architects of fate, working in these walls of time, some with massive deeds and great, some with ornaments of rhyme. Nothing useless is, or low, each thing in its place is best, and what seems but idle show strengthens and supports the rest. For the structure that we raise, time is with materials filled. Our todays and yesterdays are the blocks with which we build. Truly shape and fashion these. Leave no yawning gaps between. Think not, because no man sees, such things will remain unseen. In the elder days of art, builders wrought with greatest care, each minute and unseen part, for the gods see everywhere. Let us do our work as well, both the unseen and the seen, make the house where gods may dwell, beautiful, entire, and clean. Else our lives are incomplete, standing in these walls of time, broken stairways where the feet stumble as they seek to climb. Build today, then strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place. Thus alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye sees the world as one vast plain and one boundless reach of sky. So there's so much packed in there. It's such a cool piece to me. Because you go, he's talking about a house. He's not talking about a house. He's talking about a life. He's talking about your life. Let us do our work as well, both the unseen and the seen. Make the house where gods may dwell, beautiful, entire, and clean. Right, that's not a house. That's a life. And I had a mentor of mine say to me one time, in terms of one's own personal ethics, to imagine you had a camera on you all the time. Now that's a tall order, but that's a perspective on how to keep one's ethics in. Now I'm not recommending that, but it is a concept, and it can make one think. But as Longfellow says, back in the elder days of art, the gods saw the obvious and the hidden, right? So artists built everything with total care. Who had that belief in gods? All of the seen and unseen parts, right? So that's one beautiful part of it. Another is obviously, like he says, in the elder days of art, right? So at this time, perhaps there was a bit of atheism going on. I actually don't know. Because he's saying back when artists believed in gods, They cared for even the unseen things. Maybe this is a moral commentary on his society at the time. People just like doing willy-nilly whatever behind closed doors because it's my personal business and it's none of your business. So I'm going to smoke weed and watch porn and, you know, and be lazy and do whatever I want, or yell at my spouse or what have you. Who knows, right? I mean, obviously these things go on and people justify a lot of things by, you know, it's my right as an individual. Fair enough. Fair enough. That would make it good for you. It makes it something you can do. It makes it something, you know, to a degree we'll agree in, as a society, that we each have personal liberties. But Longfellow would encourage one to view one's life as an expression of art and to leave no detail unhandled with an ethical and aesthetic look, which I think is fantastic. Because then, you know, he closes with, thus alone can we attain to those turrets where the eye see the world as one vast plain and one boundless reach of sky. He may be talking about heaven, right? But it can be whatever you know, one might think he's talking about. That's totally fine. But back to the original thing I was commenting on, which is, you know, I went through a long stretch, and I think, you know, largely people do, and sometimes it lasts a long time. And I've commented on this in, you know, in other mediums where I've talked about it before, but get this anxiety or angst or ache or what have you about, like, I'm not living up to my potential, and I need to do more, and I need to be more, and I agree. But the angst about it, I think people discount themselves. They discount what they are doing because they go, Elon Musk, and he changed the world, and Steve Jobs, and he's changed the world, and, you know, whoever they admire, Richard Branson, and he's changed the world. Okay, great. On what scale, right? So you go, well, on this global scale. Okay, well, maybe there's a galactic emperor who looks at Elon Musk and he goes, batteries. This guy's making mud pies, right? So it's perspective, right? So someone might look at you and go, wow, you really got it together. Meantime, you're like, I hate how I'm doing in life. I need to be doing better. And it's that sort of, it's a little bit of self-loathing, self-criticism, and this sort of thing, which I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying there are alternative versions of internal impetus, internal pressure, than simply this weird, to me, you know, sort of self-attack. Because it doesn't have to be a self-attack. Because it may be that your expression of yourself is already fantastic, and you just need to magnify that and look for opportunities. Also look for results you are doing. I've noticed, right, so we often go, there's this situation in life, and it needs to change, and then we communicate into it, and we don't see immediate change, right? A friend comes to us for advice and says, I think my spouse is cheating on me, and I don't know what to do, and hey, drama, and you go, here's some amazing advice, and they don't take it. They don't do anything that we can see, and so we go, Jesus, I'm ineffective, or that was stupid, or whatever, or we have these thoughts about it. And the thing is that the lightest touch, sometimes just the first few words you utter to someone in a situation, alter the direction that they're going. Now that doesn't mean my spouse is cheating on me, and then you say, well, you got to leave them, and then those few words, and then they leave them. Who knows? That's their life. Your job is to express yourself, express who you are, and paint that canvas of your life. That's your job. You want it bigger? Go for it. Do it. But realize your days are just full of these expressions. You want more ability to express? Find ways to do it. I'm a Scientologist. I found some tremendous ways to do it. And I'm creating like mad and enjoying the hell out of myself. It's so much fun. Right? Whereas before, you know, even 2 years ago, I wasn't. I was great life, but a little bit of, no, 2 years ago I didn't feel this internal angst. Maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I was kind of like, why am I not doing more? and then I had my own personal realizations on it, and that's what I'm sharing now. So I think what you're doing is wonderful. Do more of it. If you want to do orders of magnitude more of it, then plan it. Start, like, imagine it. Okay, but imagine it's not enough. Okay, and you won't necessarily go from I have $1 to I have $1 billion. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying my observation is it's a gradient universe. So you have to take stepping stones. So you need to imagine that next stepping stone. I had a person recently, and they on a post, and it was talk about money, and they're like, "Why not this many millions?" And I'm like, "Okay, great, yeah, go for it." But my actual thought was that, to a degree, can set you up for failure if you don't plan for stepping stones. If you don't look at a stepping stone and go for it. If you are sitting here with 10 grand and you're planning for 10 million, and you start to work out those plans, you might find some serious challenges or just a total dead stop. You just don't do anything. So look for a next level and go for that and plan. So in terms of your own self-expression, where can we go next? How much more can you do? I write down ideas in my little red notebook all the time in terms of what would be a next step. And then I don't get stuck on what that next step would be. I do some of it. Maybe I do a lot of it. Maybe I continue it. Maybe I stop right away. Maybe I change and pivot. But I'm just expressing myself and trying to grow in what I am. And I recommend the same for you. Okay, hope that helps. And I hope you enjoyed The Builders by Longfellow.